Hello you, welcome to Geekism, and this the finale of our first series of Cities Skylines. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why we're wrapping the series up. We spoke about it a little bit before. To be honest with you, this was very much a kind of testing the water series when it first started. I kind of didn't play the game before, kind of learnt as we've played, and obviously I've made quite a few mistakes, and really I'd kind of like a fresh start, being able to tackle things a little bit differently. Now I've got a bit more of an idea of what's required of me to make the cities run well and things like that. And then also we've had the new DLC Green Cities release as well, so I'd like to try and start a new city with that sort of stuff in mind as well. Not necessarily, I have spoken about doing like a huge massive futuristic green city, but I think actually I prefer something a little bit more realistic, but definitely taking in some of those sort of green elements in, and trying to build a city that sort of runs a little bit better and hopefully doesn't come up against some of the issues that we faced in this series. So I thought for the finale we'd just have a bit of a little look over what we've done and see if what we can take from it. Now what's this telling us here? We've got move it selected, hold on. Multiple problems. A building is set to empty its contents and therefore it's not working. Yeah, that's fine. And there's no water. Well, we can fix the water problem. There you go. Okay, cool. So the very first thing we did, I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly, was here. Beach Heights. Pretty sure Beach Heights was the first little thing we built. It was literally just this block here. Over the time it's slightly been edited, but we then built this intersection here, and we then spread down into an industrial area here that's now been completely redone as office space. And then on the edge of the office space was Crescent Park and our cool little concert DLC. There's been an update with the concert DLC as well. New buildings I think we've got, which looks quite cool. We never quite got to the third group, but we will work on that in the future. What do we actually need? We need like another 18 content, so it takes quite a while to do. But yeah, we're getting there with that one, so it'll be interesting to see. We'll definitely build this sort of space again. I like the idea of having a large concert venue, and also we'll have a look at the new buildings there as well. We've got some slight traffic issues, mostly like here, it's just like a random bit of traffic for some reason. Everyone's moving into this lane, so we're definitely going to take a little bit more care around doing things here with like the lane management and stuff like that. Here, I think, is our problem. We've kind of got an issue here. This really needs to do this, yeah, like that. And here is the issue. Oops. Yeah, for some reason we've got a tiny weird little junction there that everyone's getting a little bit stuck on. Hopefully that should sort itself out. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. This is the end of the city anyway. I will put this on the workshop though, so you guys can come in and have a little look around if you want to. You know, I don't expect you to come and play it or anything, but if you want to come and have a little look around, you can do. So after we did that, then we started building out this area, and then we moved up here into Coleridge and Hickory Circle. These two areas I was really quite happy with actually, because I think I did some nice sort of very traditional British layouts here with both Hickory Circle and then the High Street into Coleridge. We ended up building Coleridge up quite a bit, and then obviously from Coleridge became Oak Hills, which is sort of our big office sort of area. A big sort of area for work and stuff around here, and then we also have the top end of Coleridge here, ended up being quite high as well. We also did, off the back of Hickory Circle, we built a bit of a national park, a bit of a sort of green area that you can come and hang around in. Again, I think this worked out quite nicely with the botanical gardens. Not really sure about some of the shops that have ended up here. I think what we need to do is have a relook at our mods so we can look at placing down individual buildings. I think that's probably what we're going to have to do here. Just turn this off, because otherwise we end up with, you know, topless Himalayan wine is fine, I guess, but the building doesn't really fit the area. A little sort of wooden shack would have been better. The canal, probably less said about the canal the better, I guess. I was also quite happy with how the motorway started working out here. We had a roundabout here underneath the motorway that we couldn't actually get to fill with water, but I think it looks-wise it turned out quite nicely. And then obviously we moved over this way into Sunset Square. That became quite a large residential and commercial area overall, and that sort of surrounded what became Geektopia University. Again, quite happy with how this turned out. This was one of the areas that I really spent a while trying to make it look nice, you know, using the stadium car park areas. We did a freshers fair down here as well. I was quite happy with. I think in this next episode I'm going to stop trying to do swaves of designing in each episode, and maybe sort of concentrate on the smaller details a little bit, maybe do a little bit more time lapses and things like that. It might mean that the videos come out a little bit less regularly, but I feel that, you know, a lot of people are here on this channel to see how I go around designing things and using creativity and things like that. So rather than saying, oh, here's a big city, we might just sort of come down a little bit to this sort of level and spend a bit more time. We can get rid of you now. That was to get rid of the water from the canal. Spend a bit more time, you know, on roundabouts and things like that, and really come right down into here. Maybe not completely reco everything, but definitely spend a little bit more time planning buildings and deciding what's going where and what we're going to do to make stuff look great. You know, like little bits like here, like we did a little primary school here, and we kind of made the space around the back of it work as well, with a little park and an old sort of battered up basketball court and football court and things like that. So I'm really quite happy with how a lot of this turned out. We moved over here. This was probably the biggest sort of failure of the area. This was meant to be the sort of suburban area, the sort of outskirts, where we have some forestry, we have some sort of lower, sort of more cottaging areas, not cottaging areas, sorry, cottage areas. The Bedford district and Poplar Heights here. The idea was these would be sort of slightly bigger homes eventually, with nice, nice spaces behind them, nice sort of grassy areas behind them. And then over the bridge here into our farming district, which was known as Sycamore Park. Again, a little bit more time needs to be spent. You know, I tried to do some stuff here with the farming. I think there's a lot more you can do. But I did enjoy myself building this area out, including the multiple sort of power station areas. And then over here, a small space that we spent a little bit of time on doing a bit of a sort of industrial area with our train track and our large train depot. Again, quite happy with how this turned out. I still think we can do a lot more with it though. And then we also had from here, we had our cable car that came up the hill to our satellite station, and the idea here was this sort of was like a park area, but also like a science museum type thing. You can come up and see an observatory and all that. Also, we couldn't place the observatory because it wasn't unlocked, so one thing we are definitely going to be doing in our next area is unlocking all this stuff. So we've got plenty of tools to play with. I'm quite happy with how this turned out, with the fencing and with the railings. Again, I still can't remember what these ended up being called, but we found them in the end, didn't we? And we added those up the road here. Little bits of realism, again, stuff that I really want to try and work on in series number 2. And then finally, we had a nice little posh area up here that we didn't call anything. But did we not zone this in the end? I guess we didn't. Well, let's zone it now, and it doesn't really make any difference. But we'll zone it now, and we'll call it Aspen District. Is nice, but we won't call it that. We're going to call it the End. So you can come and live up in the end here, and why would you? I don't know, but you could. And there we go. That's all we had really chance to do. One thing I really wanted to do was build this area into a sort of tourist park. We kind of ran out of time though, and I've kind of not lost love for this city, but I kind of feel like it's, you know, I'm sort of polishing a turd now any work I spend on it. There's a lot of issues with it, and I feel like really a better start now. Series 2, a little bit more care and time taken around the design of it, and also obviously now knowing what I didn't know in episode 1. I think is probably an important thing as well. But yeah, the idea was to put something like the Statue of Liberty on here. Must be placed on a roadside. Okay, well, do you know what? It ain't going to look that great, but we can actually place it down. So the idea would have been to have something like a road here, kind of ran along, yeah. And then this would have come up to kind of like over here a little bit. We would have got rid of these broken buildings, unfortunately, and then there it would have fit nicely, hopefully. Yeah, there, something like that. Let's have a look. There we go. It's kind of facing the wrong way, but I'm okay with that. And then we'd have come into rain and soften all this.
I think we have a moment, so let's go to the listener emails.
There we go. So we've got no issues there. We'd have had to have bulldozed most of this. There we go. And we'd have had to have lifted up. Whoop, a bit sudden. There we go. And then smoothed it all out. There we go. So we've got a nice sort of area there. There we go. That's the sort of thing we'd have done, I think. Obviously, would have spent a bit more time getting it just right. But I think that would have been quite nice. Got no water and power, obviously. We'd have got that other stuff. And then here, what I'd like to have done was taken one of these roads down to do a dock, basically. So we'd have had it there like that, and then you'd have come up to here or something. Yeah, and then dock-wise, transport. Is it you? Ship, harbour, provides passengers to the sea. Is that it? Is that the only sea one? Train, ship, plane. Yeah, because airports and all stuff we haven't done, have we? Train. Yeah, it must be that one then. Okay. Ferry. Yeah, there we go. Ferry. That's what we wanted. Ferry depot. So we'd have come and put a ferry depot on here. Like that. There we go. And then we'd have come and put a ferry stop over on this side. That's on the end of the road there. And I think these are a little high up. Looks it, doesn't it? Looks a little high up. So what we'd have probably done then is we'd move it. I say this is what we have done. We're doing it, aren't we, basically? Let's just do it, shall we? So we'd move it, we'd have gone there, and we'd have knocked all of this down into a much more suitable height. I'd say something that's closer to there, really. And then obviously these will have to come down as well. So the road, Harvey Street, isn't ridiculous. There we go. Those trees pop in and out of existence as they go as well. That one, there we go. Figure out what they're doing. Okay, that's about right. And then over on this side, again, yeah, this is, you're just a bit too high, aren't you, buddy? You're going to have to come down a little. It's not as bad as the other side. I feel like you need to come down a little bit to about there. And then, because you weren't too bad, these aren't too bad. You're going to have to come down just a bit. Why there's cars parked here, I don't know. So we'd have done something like this. And then, how do we add an actual ferry line in? Is it that? Ferry pathway. Really, it's going to be a loop. Could either go. Oh, we could do it around the island. Actually, yeah, that would be pretty neat, wouldn't it? I don't know how tight these can be, really, but. Alright, so you're there, and then you're going to come, and you can have a little tour of the island before you stop. Oops. But actually, no, you need to stop on this side, don't you? Okay, let's see what we can do here. Well, it lets me do that, so there we go. I mean, obviously we won't see these lines, so it won't matter too much. But let's ferries in use, so not enough water. Oh, being delivered to it though, that's okay. So let's get some water to it. There you go. You should be happy now. And we might as well take you up to there as well. And electricity. We'll probably just sort of cheat and use some of these undergroundy ones, I think. There we go. So we now have power. So, ferry's in use. Now, I'm guessing the problem is that we don't really have a reason to go over here. Oh, there is little buoys where the ferries go. Okay, well, that's fine. Passenger service last week, 0. So I guess, like, nobody's going to go there, are they? Because, well, why would you? There's not really much to see. How do we do speeds? Can we get a ferry going? Do we have to add ferries to the line? Lines overview. Oh, here we go. Ferry line count. Large ferry pier, room for 2 ferries at once. Ferry and bus change. Ferry depot. Yeah, so that's, I mean, that's the depot. That's the one that gets them all started. You're some sort of warehouse. You look good, but I don't know why you're in the list of ferries. So I don't actually know how we get a ferry line going. For buses, we click the it's telling me there's demand. Ferries in use. The ferry depot does not act as a stop. There's your problem. There is your problem. Right, okay, so in that case, we'll move you. Where should we move you to? Let's move you to there. I don't actually see where the ferries are coming from, but that's fine. So now what we can do is we can link it up this way. And we might as well take this road all the way down now. So you're not going to get too much in the way of... Yeah, you are going to get in the way of that one, aren't you? Never mind, so as long as the ferries don't. So now we have to put a ferry stop on this side. So what are you? Ferry and bus exchange stop. No, that's not good. We'll just have one of you. And then we can get the ferry line. And join these up. Let's make this a bit neater. Right, there we go then. And you have to join up to there. No? Alright, let's try that in. Now what happens? Not left electricity. Well, that is something we can fix. Water. Oh, it's actually perfectly covered by water. That was a nice little bonus, wasn't it? So, a small ferry stop allows one ferry at a time to dock. Ferries in use, still 0. So come on then, let's get a ferry going. Ferries are stored at the ferry depot and sent out automatically. Number of vehicles per line is set in the budget window. Connect the depot to ferry lines with ferry pathways. Ferry depot, right, did we not do a ferry line? Is that what we didn't do? Ferry pathway. Ferry line, right, okay. So here. Here. And then. Oh, forget it, let's just do it that way. So go on then, now do we start? Here we go. Needs to be connected to lines. Right, okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. So now we need this one. This needs to join up. Yay! There we go. We figured it out. So watch this ferry just skim under there. I mean, it's going to be close. Oh, no, does it? It's quite nice, actually. So, there we go. Ferry pulls up. Anyone? And then it swings around here. For no reason. Good. Let's get... can we just put our lines in here? No, we can't. Oh, well, none of you got electricity. Deal with it. Let's have a look. Yeah, look, we have a ferry visiting the Statue of Liberty. Good. Okay, well, that's what we wanted to do. Ever since episode 1, I said I wanted to do that. Now, obviously, you know, if we were continuing this series, I would spend a lot more time making that look nice, but I really want to dive into something new now. What is this telling me? No customers? Not enough heat? Not enough heat? Oy, we've got stuff to worry about. Yeah, loads of new buildings with green cities. There's a new content creator pack as well that I'll probably get because it looks pretty neat with European type buildings. Again, I think I'm going to go for a European build just because like left-hand drive and stuff, it makes a lot more sense to me. Which is something we didn't do in this one, and it kind of messed me up a lot. So I think we're going to do left-hand drive in the next one, proper European city, and we'll see how we get on. Please, any suggestions, stuff you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments. I'm going to leave this here. Like I say, I will put this on the workshop. There'll be a link in the description if you want to come and have a mess around with it, blow it up with some natural disasters, whatever you want to do. It's cool. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed the series. Thank you for sticking with me to episode 30. If you have enjoyed it, please give the video a like. It really does help out the channel. And if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe. Any thoughts, queries, or suggestions, you can pop them down in the comments below. And if you fancy chat, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at John T. Sparrow. And if you'd like to join in with the Geekism community, you can do so on our Discord server. You'll find the link in the description. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.